Welcome to Crawlspace. I'm Tim here today with Lance in the Crawlspace / Empty Frames / Patreon studios. What's up, Lance?
What's going on? How are you today?
I'm great. Hey, so this is our Patreon video and us asking you to become a supporter of our Patreon page.
A patron, as they say in the Patreon world. Very excited about this because it's the first time we've delved into this, and we want to make our Crawlspace studios as good as it can possibly be.
Right. So right after we stop talking here, you're going to hear more of us talking, which is actually like an 8-minute video that is on our Patreon page. And then after that, we're going to play another sample. It's like a 15-minute clip of something that is an example of what you'll hear if you're a Patreon subscriber.
Something candid and something unscripted, and the video also unscripted, sort of off the cuff. And I understand that I have bad posture, so there.
Okay, so thank you for listening and considering becoming a patron of the Crawlspace podcast. We appreciate it. Thank you. Hey everybody, welcome to Crawlspace. This is our Patreon video explaining why you should become one of our Patreon supporters.
And when you say welcome to Crawlspace, you literally mean welcome to the space that we operate in, known as the Crawlspace Studios. Now, our fans of Crawlspace know when they listen to the show, they get a variety of different cases that we try to dig as deep as possible into every single time. And in order to keep that going and to make Crawlspace really what it's supposed to be, sometimes we stretch our means a bit too thin. Like, I don't even have a cord for this microphone.
Because your microphone's right there. That's just a prop at this point.
This would be a prop.
You insisted on holding it for some reason.
It was a comfort factor for me, but I'm going to put that down.
Tier 1 is an exclusive audio clip per month. And that audio clip will be something that's delivered to you via the Patreon feed, but it'll be just something different, something...
We don't want to go so far as to say an outtake or behind the scenes, but it would be a more candid interaction between Tim and I.
And we'll likely be talking about some current news, some current crime cases too.
Sure, it could run the gamut. So how much were we going to go for Tier 1?
Tier 1 is $1 per month. That's it. $1 per month for exclusive content that you can't get anywhere else.
A $1 subscription per month.
That's it.
Now for $2 per month, we're going to take them up to Tier 2. So that's Tier 1 essentially, with video included.
Right, with an additional behind-the-scenes case working video, something that you're going to get that's additional. It's a video. It's probably going to be 10 minutes long. It's going to be some behind-the-scenes of life here at the Crawlspace Studios, some stuff in the field that we couldn't bring you in a regular episode.
Now, there might be a chance that we need to hire actors to portray us because we do have voices for podcasts and faces for...
radio.
I was going to say prison.
Oh.
But...
Podcasts.
Podcasts.
Podcasting without a Patreon page is kind of like being in prison.
It's sort of like being in some sort of like home confinement.
Right.
Yeah. So you might be asking yourself, are there just 2 tiers? Or you might be asking yourself, what exactly are in these cups? There are not just 2 tiers. There's a 3rd tier.
The 3rd tier we're going to bring you is something really cool. It's tiers 1 and 2, plus some specialized merchandise. So it's for $10. This is for the serious backers here of Crawlspace. And you got to subscribe to tier 3 for 3 months to get mailed some specialized merchandise. What is specialized merchandise, Lance?
You almost took the words out of my mouth, per usual. Specialized merchandise can be anything from mouse pads to coffee mugs to t-shirts, baseball caps. Basically, we wanted to say specialized, so we didn't limit ourselves to strictly a t-shirt. Once every 3 months, we'll put together the order, and you'll get a special package, a special Crawlspace package.
Now, you may be saying...
They couldn't possibly go higher than tier 3.
There's no way, but alas, we have. It's tier 4 and it's $20, okay? That's a real serious Patreon supporter, but this is got a personal touch here. You get all 3 tiers, 1, 2, 3. You get the merch, you get the audio, you get the video, and you get a personalized Skype session with us.
We're taking it to an interactive level
A
now.
personal level.
Yep. It's an experience.
An experience in true crime
As the coffee mugs say,
and mysteries.
true crime and mysteries.
The mystery up until this point is how have they put out all that content? Well, we've stretched ourselves
Well,
really
we have
thin.
no more money.
Yeah. So that is why we are turning to Patreon.
And turning to you to help us out and be a Patreon partner to Crawlspace. And again, let's actually make Crawlspace what it's supposed to be.
And as an example of the kind of thing you may get in audio or video, we're going to roll this outtake right now. Lance, a fresh new year has begun.
I love it.
And if you're setting new goals for your business, you know, it's extremely difficult to reach them without the right people on your team. And ZipRecruiter has... Let me just start again. Okay. Lance, you know, a fresh new year has begun.
And I love it.
Lance, you know, a fresh new year has begun.
I love it.
And if you're...
I want to... Should I not do that?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
I just gotta stop laughing now. Lance, you know, shit.
Sorry.
I can't believe this. It's never happened before doing it.
I'm doing a...
Yeah, 60-second spot. Lance, you know, a fresh new year has begun.
I love
and
it.
If you're selling...
It's because you're not pausing. It sounds so forced.
Oh, God.
I won't do this.
Please do it. I'm going to
Okay.
be so thrown off now. No, I'm just kidding. I don't even know. Lance, you know, a fresh new year has begun.
And I love it. I love this fresh new year. Sweating.
And if you're setting new goals for your business... Okay,
Okay. That was a completely unintentional breakdown of composure.
It's just day-to-day life here at the Crawlspace Studios, and we didn't have that one on video. In
No.
the future, we will, and that's one of the reasons we're asking for donations for this Patreon page, because we have this very handsome cameraman right there named Josh Leonard, and we have to pay him. But we can't pay him unless we get donations.
So he's not going to leave this room until we get something. In conclusion, we just want to say thank you for even taking the time to view this video and consider any one of the tiers that we've offered. Tier 1 and 2 just feels to me like the best way to sort of dip your toe in the waters and see what you get. Then go on from there.
Yeah, and if you're the serious Crawlspace supporter, go to tier 3 or 4, and you will not be disappointed. You'll be talking to us on Skype. You'll be receiving packages of merch to your doorstep.
We would love to keep this going because we are having a blast with it, but no lie, we have an interview that we have to go prepare for. This is another case that we're looking into, and we need to make sure that we're fully prepared for this interview. So we'll wrap it up here and say thank you, and yeah, we'll see you in your earbuds.
Till next time. What's yours?
Spicy ginger tea.
Oh. Mine's whiskey. And then lastly here in this Patreon recording, Lance, which has been very fun so far, you texted me a picture of a boot print on your toilet seat.
Yeah, this was so I've had a couple of moments where I'm not going to say I'm being paranoid, but I'm being super cautious. There was one moment where
a
I
couple
thought
weeks before,
about a month ago, I sometimes I just, because I have a cat, and sometimes she'll like go to the window or she'll go to the back door and she'll look out, and I'll just kind of look out there and just say, you know, just a moment with your pet, and you're like, oh, what are you looking at? And I I could have just to paint a super depressing picture of me. There was definitely if you were to go out my back door and look to the left, you can see the driveway, the end of the driveway.
Sure.
And there was what I thought at first was a car pulling down the driveway. We have kind of a long driveway. But it started bouncing like a flashlight.
Okay.
And it was pretty evident that it was somebody either in the woods on the other side, like in our neighbor's woods area, or it was somebody walking down my driveway with a flashlight.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched it for a little bit, and then it became obvious that it was a flashlight in the woods. And I went inside, and for the next hour or so, I was super alert and looking out the window. And
okay, wait a second.
Before I
there's no lock on your door, right? I just want to.
No, there's a lock on the back. Yeah, there's a lock on the back door.
I know, but your actual door.
In order to get into my apartment, well, first you have to go through a bit of a maze, and then you can, if you find my door, you can get in.
If you get in through the locked door.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, if you get in through the other door.
Right.
There's two doors that you have to get through to get to.
Two locked doors.
Yeah.
Before your unlocked door.
Right.
Or door with no lock, I should say.
There's no key. There's a lock, but there's no key.
So you can lock it when you're inside?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
I guess that's important for the story because I do keep it locked when I'm inside.
Right.
So for the next, back to the flashlight in the woods, for the next hour or so, I was being very alert. But then I decompressed and I was, senses came back to me, and there is a walking path behind my property that someone could have easily just been walking. I mean, people walk their dogs down there all the time, literally all the time. So that's probably what it was.
And there's also chickens. Some of your neighbors have chickens, so maybe they were checking on the chickens.
The chickens are further up on their property, and they're kept in a fenced-in area.
Okay.
So there was that. Then there was a moment. So that happened probably a month and a half ago, and then there was this weird moment where this is probably 3 weeks ago, where I came in, and the first door you go through goes into my kitchen. You take a right, and there's the living room. The lights are off. There's the kitchen lights on, and I walk through, and I look over at this little chair that I had bought for the TV show, which we didn't use. And it just looked like it was in a closer position to the couch and the coffee table. And I live alone, so if I leave something one way, it really shouldn't move, right? Mm-hmm. And if something stands out, then there's a reason for it standing out, if it never stood out before. So I walk by, and it kind of catches my eye, and I look over, and I think, wow, that chair's just in a different position.
Yeah. Usually it's in one position.
So I turn the light on, and I have this probably 1.5 or 2 feet tall one of those nutcrackers. It's on the floor.
Right. I know that. Yep.
Like one of those nutcracker soldiers.
Yep.
And this is the part that freaked me out, because the chair was one thing. I could have bumped into it. My cat could have ran into it or something, and it could have moved. I was vacuuming, so I could have I could have bumped it with the vacuum and it moved, and I didn't notice.
That's where my head went at first. I was going to ask about Face. Face is not the tiniest cat. In fact, if she's on a chair and decides to get off and springs off of it, I could see that chair sliding across the floor.
It would probably kick back a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But the I don't want to say the creepiest part, the most unnerving part at the time was when I turned the light on and I looked at the chair. I have this nutcracker statue, and that was turned away facing the couch, and it looked really intentional. Now, the nutcracker statue is usually facing out. There'd be no reason for me to turn it almost facing the wall.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, instantly I was like, someone's been in my apartment.
Oh, man.
And turned this thing. As I settled down, I realized, no, it could have been the cat again. There's a lot of things that could have happened. There's a lot of other things that could have happened that caused this to turn, as opposed to somebody coming into my apartment, moving the chair a little bit, and turning the nutcracker statue and not doing anything else.
Right. It could have been a ghost.
Sure.
Could have been
John Smith. It could have been cold.
Just the list goes on and
The
on.
list could really go on and on now that we're talking about it. I realize there are probably more things as opposed to me bumping it with a vacuum.
Yeah.
More
There's-
nefarious
That
things.
person's listening right now is like, that's all you fucking noticed? Like, you're really not aware of your
Wow,
surroundings.
you need to you need to look around more. So there was that, and then this might all come back to one thing. We're not sure yet. Flash forward to what was it? Saturday?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, Saturday.
I go into my bathroom.
Yep.
In the morning, and the toilet seat's down as usual, like the seat and then the cover's down.
Mm-hmm.
And I go to lift it up, and I look, and on the side of it, on the left-hand side of it, is a boot print. And I took a picture of it. I sent you the picture. Now, why would somebody be standing? Why would somebody be standing on my toilet seat?
Right, that was my first question.
And it's on the edge of it.
Yeah, and
It's not in the middle. It's like it's the right boot on the left-hand side, meaning
Okay.
the left foot would have been either like on its knee on my sink or just kind of out there.
Okay, I got a theory already, but how big is the boot print? It's definitely not your boot print.
Well, here's where the twist happens.
Okay,
And this is a whole, I don't know if you want to go with your theory before we,
maybe.
okay.
My theory is that it's like maybe your landlord's friend hiding something in your ceiling above your bathroom.
That would be interesting, but the ceiling's solid.
Okay, well
It's not a
that's-
tiled ceiling.
What about on top of the vanity?
There's
the
no
mirror?
on top of it. It's
Okay.
the mirror on the wall and then a
It's
light
stuck
fixture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, there
I
it
do
goes.
have a vent in the ceiling. But that's I looked at it. I was looking up in there.
Did
There's
you
no.
unscrew it?
You'd really need to do something. You pop it off. You pop the top off.
Have
and
you not seen No Country for Old Blood?
I know.
For old men?
yeah, yeah.
There will be men.
There will be there will
There will be old
blood.
men. Yeah, I get those movies confused.
Well, they were both really big at the
And-
Academy
and,
of that,
and they
yeah.
were released at like the same time, and I
Yeah.
love them both.
and they're
yeah.
both great movies. But no. I would have been able to tell if that had been removed.
Okay,
There's a bit of.
if you say so.
Yeah, there's a bit of dust there.
Mhm.
You know, nothing had seemed disturbed
Okay.
other than my brain.
Mm.
So I'm there for a few minutes looking at this and taking pictures, and I sent it to you. I sent it to our friend Jeff. Sent it to my girlfriend,
Mhm.
and I was convinced this was a foreign boot,
Yeah.
a foreign print,
Uh-huh.
because I did not do it.
Yeah.
And I looked at it and I said, someone stepped on my toilet seat.
Yep.
And why? So I go through my day. I even go downstairs and I take the boots that I'm wearing now,
Mhm.
and I go upstairs. I put one on and I step on my toilet seat, and it doesn't leave a print.
Mhm.
So I thought that was interesting.
Mhm.
I go outside and I see boot prints in the snow, and I put my boot print. I step right next to one boot print, and I take a picture of the comparison between the two. And in my brain, that there's absolutely, and I even sent that to Jeff, and Jeff was like, "That's the boot print that was on your toilet," because my brain had totally dismissed any possible solution or any conclusion that involved me doing it.
Mhm.
That was out of my brain because I do not have a memory of doing this.
Yeah. Why would you stand on your toilet seat?
Exactly.
I suppose you could have tied your shoe or something like that.
I put my shoes on downstairs. I don't even wear my shoes. I don't.
Right, but maybe there was a moment where
be.
you ran back in and was like, oh, I got to pee real quick. I had my shoes untied. Let me pee. And then I tied my shoes.
Series of events doesn't dictate that.
Doesn't not dictate that.
Well, we got to figure it out, because I went to my girlfriend's and I showed her. I kept saying, like, I got to show you these pictures, and I showed her the picture of the two boot prints and the one on the toilet, and for some reason, maybe being around somebody else, all of a sudden it hit both of us at the same time that it wasn't even close. It was my boot.
Okay.
It's not even close.
Interesting.
Not even close to the boot print that was outside.
Yeah.
But at the time when I took that picture, it was that boot print,
Right.
because that was in my head. Like, that's what I absolutely convinced myself, because I don't have any memory of stepping on my own toilet.
Interesting.
And my boots were downstairs by the door, like side by side, not kicked off, side by side. So this means if I slept walk, that's one solution.
Oh, man.
I would
That's a
have to
really
have-
complicated solution.
I would have to have gotten up,
Yeah.
gone downstairs, put the boots on, walked back upstairs, stood on my toilet seat on one foot, hard enough so that it left a print.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, I put them on the next morning and it didn't leave a print.
Right.
And then gone back downstairs, taken them off, and put them exactly how I found them. And then gone back to bed and not.
Okay. Yeah, I find that to be highly unlikely.
I don't have any other solution to it, though. So here's, if anyone out there has any idea, the fact is that, and we can show the picture, I guess. The fact is that a boot print was there. It is my boot print, unless somebody else had identical boots as mine.
And the size and everything too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And when we came to that realization, I remember my girlfriend looked at me and she said, "Let's sit down," because I was really disturbed.
We need to talk, Lance.
I was really disturbed because I went to show her this picture to say, I don't know who was in my apartment and why. And instead I looked at it and I said, no, that's not right at all. That's my boot. And it just came in. It just sunk in. And it was kind of funny. I mean, I was laughing because at least someone wasn't in my apartment. I've been known to sleep eat before.
Really? What? Wait, what?
Yeah, where I'd wake up the next morning and I'd go downstairs and there's like a fork in the sink.
Yeah.
And I'd probably went in and there was leftovers or something and had some leftovers and then put the fork in the sink and went back to bed. I've been known to do that before.
And you don't remember it?
I have no memory of that. Yeah, I have no memory of standing on my toilet.
And then the Nutcracker potentially. I could see that one I could see. Like if you did sleepwalk, first of all, you'd have to walk down the stairs without falling and waking
Crazy.
yourself up.
Yeah.
I suppose it's possible. I have no idea. But I could see if you're in that state and you're not walking with your eyes closed, which I think is probably a misconception of sleepwalking. You looked at the Nutcracker guy and you're like, I don't want this guy looking at me. You turned him around.
It would be I almost want to set up.
That one makes more sense than the others to me.
Well,
eating and the boot print.
Well, the eating kind of makes sense. Like you wake up at like 2 or 3 or whatever, and you maybe you're a little hungry, and you.
See, I've been like really high, like some nights at like midnight or 1 a.m. and I eat like a ton of cookies or cupcakes or whatever, and then like I wake up the next day and I don't remember it, and then like I go downstairs like, oh yeah, like kinda, and that's why my stomach feels like it does.
Right. I'll correct myself. I would the Nutcracker and the food makes more sense to me because there's a purpose. Not like you're hungry, but you did something.
Okay.
Maybe you had a dream about food or something.
Okay, but could this be like a drunken thing though? Like how I'm high if I'm
the
and
footprint?
not remembering the
eating
food
thing?
more than
I
anything.
don't think I was drinking on those.
Yeah.
nights.
Okay.
Yeah. I never like made the made the connection.
Okay.
But at least it's like I woke up and for some reason my brain was telling my body to go do something. I can't explain the boot print because I don't know what I would be telling my body to do.
Mm-hmm.
Go down and put on your boots. Oh, I almost forgot this part.
Oh, here we go.
I had a crazy, weird dream about collecting all of my shoes to donate them.
Oh, really?
Yes, I had a dream about collecting my shoes, and I was putting them in a box.
What?
I was putting them in a box, and I was trying to find a place to donate them. And they kept like falling out of the box and everything.
In your dream?
In my dream, yeah.
So you think this was partly sleepwalk? Maybe?
I don't know.
Because they were all back right there by the door when you woke up, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And not like haphazardly all back.
Yeah.
Like they were lined up.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not sleepwalking.
Then
this is a real mystery.
It is. And Jeff was he texted me and he said he was fascinated by it, and then I told him, dude, that's my boot. That's actually mine.
Yeah.
And he didn't respond back. I think it just got too like.
It's even more fascinating, I would say.
I think it got too fascinating.
Maybe.
I think he liked the idea that someone was in my apartment and it probably was just like my landlord or something.
It's a more solvable crime or
or
event.
explainable at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, crime. So yeah, there's that. I've also had like weird dreams. I don't know. We probably should be wrapping this up.
Yeah,
Patreon.
probably.
Maybe part 2 of this is talking about my strange dreams that I've had.
Yeah, if you know anything about any of this, maybe it was your blueprint, or maybe you know something about sleepwalking and sleep eating and dreaming and having like a similar sleepwalking event occur, anything like that, any insight, let us know. Thanks, everybody.